Are you ready to try your hand at placing your very first stock trade? Then check out our free guide, 10 Steps to Choosing Your First Stock to Trade, the Ultimate Beginner's Guide. In this free download, you'll learn how to choose the right kinds of stocks and how to find them, know when to buy your stocks and when to sell them, and you'll learn how to take your very first steps to becoming a stock trader and much more. Grab your free guide now by going to TRADEway.com/guide. That's TRADEway.com/guide. Hey guys, I'm David Mitchell, founder and CEO of TRADEway. What if God himself gave you a blueprint for how to handle your money? Well, the Bible is a practical book. Let's dive in and see what it has to say about wealth, about risk, about leverage, and about investing, and uncover how trading in the stock market can be a powerful tool for moving towards your biggest goals. We're so happy you're here. This is The Word on Investing. Hey guys, thanks for being back with us on our podcast today. I've got a guest that I'm really excited about. We're going to talk together today. His name is Chris Lepore, and he's the Director of Operations at Tradier. Now, Tradier is a brokerage company, if you don't know about it, and hopefully today you're going to find out all about it. But it's going to be pretty interesting talking to this gentleman about his background and what he knows about this brokerage company and how it relates to TRADEway, of course. And Chris has 2 decades of experience in the brokerage industry. Among other things, one of the big things that he does there at Tradier is he makes sure that the customer service department is run in such a way that Tradier provides the best environment possible for its clients. And I'll tell you, Chris, that's one of the things that caught my attention because we've had some bad experiences in that area with brokerage companies. And so I'm glad that a lot of attention gets paid to that part of it. So Chris, welcome to the show.
Thanks, David. I'm glad to be here.
Great. Well, let me ask you this. How did you get involved with trading in the first place? And then when you answer that, tell us a little about your interest in the specific area of customer service with Tradier.
Certainly. I think it's interesting having talked to a lot of people in this industry throughout the years. We all kind of have our watershed moment. We mark our entry and interest into the field. For me, it was the dot-com bubble of the late 90s. I was a teenager at that time. I started learning about investments and watched those stocks go way up and then a couple of years later, way down. And it's really where I started getting involved, and that's why I decided to go into finance. And I was afforded an opportunity in college to get an internship with Scottrade. Scottrade was around for about 30 years in the discount industry, and that's actually where I ended up spending my first 8 years or so in the industry. And it was a great opportunity to learn about customer service from the people I worked with there. Scottrade was very focused on it. They had 500 branch offices at their peak, and they took pride in winning J.D. Power awards for customer satisfaction year after year after year. So that was really ingrained in me, and it's something that I took with me over here to Tradier when we started the company about 9 years ago.
Yeah. Well, I remember the company and that you started with. I think I had an account with them years ago. They were one of the first discount brokerage companies to come along in the first batch. And before that, I tell people all the time I learned to trade from my grandfather. And back then you had to do it on the phone. You talked to a broker and you paid for maybe 100 shares. Well, maybe not that. Maybe 500 shares you might pay $120 commission. And then this idea of discount brokerage houses and the internet came around. It changed everything, didn't it?
I was told the stories of when Scottrade first went online in the mid 90s. And when they introduced that $7 per trade rate, it was absolutely just extraordinary at the time. And now I think most people would absolutely spit out their coffee if somebody asked them to pay $7 every time they traded a stock. So it's come a long way.
Yeah, but I bet they had to do some work just stay up with the demand and all the new clients coming in when they announced that. That was amazing. Well, that's cool history that you were part of that. And most of our listeners, we got listeners out here that are already trading, and some of you guys listening in today are thinking about it and don't know a lot about it. So we got both kinds of folks in the mix today. But I think most people probably know that if you want to go out and you want to buy a stock or you want to buy a stock option, you have to do that through a brokerage company to get the job done. And TRADEway is not a brokerage company. We don't intend to be a brokerage company. We started out as an educational company teaching people how to trade in the stock market. And then we became an investment advisory company. And now we do both. We still love the education side. And you guys probably like that part of us the best because, it tends to create new clients for you too. When we teach new people how to trade, it's a win-win situation on that. But we have a few that aren't there yet that haven't placed a trade before, and maybe they're thinking about learning how. So you got to do that through a brokerage company. And Tradier is the company you work with now, and it's one of the brokerage companies that TRADEway likes to talk about and likes to get people involved with. So what do you think, with your experience, your background, what do you think it is that makes Tradier a great choice for people who are looking for a brokerage company?
Certainly. When we started Tradier, we had two main considerations, which were price and technology. We wanted to be technology focused. And part of that technology focus is easy integration with third-party platforms like TRADEway. To give their customers a seamless integration and use as possible. We've always competed on price as well, just delivering the best value we can to customers. Price and value tend to get confused, but value to me means a low price, but also getting something along with it. And so if you want to think about it this way, the third leg of that stool comes in when we talk about customer support. And as you mentioned, we take it very seriously here. We've got a phone number that you can call during business hours, and somebody on that desk out there is going to pick it up. I'm looking out there now at them, and I can tell you if you picked up the phone right now, you'd probably talk to maybe Joe or Brian, Mike, Rebecca. You're going to get somebody based right here in Charlotte. And that has become a little bit of a lost art, in my opinion, when you talk about these even bigger firms that now only offer customer support through chat, or it's difficult to get through to somebody. And when it comes to your money, I know I want to talk to somebody right away if I've got an issue.
Absolutely. I mean, I like the fact you told us you're from Charlotte. When we started out, I don't know, pushing 20 years ago, I guess, when we started doing this, my 5 grown children and I said, we pass these skill sets down from generation to generation. Why don't we start sharing them with our brothers and sisters in Christ around the country? So we got on radio, and all of a sudden we were in every major market helping people learn how to trade. But when we started out, we were with a trading company. I won't mention the name, a brokerage company that was out of Chicago. And so you can imagine we had a lot of our first clients were in the South, because that's where we are. And so you can imagine a person from Chicago answered the phone, and they just seemed a little short to our Southern clients. Like they weren't friendly. And we try to explain to them, it's not that they're not friendly. They're just to the point, But I got an idea you guys are friendly and to the point, which is even better. So that's pretty cool.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's always something that I've tried to drive home to folks, is that we're here to help in an efficient manner. But we do it with a smile on our face. I was taught early to answer the phone with a smile on my face, and it'll come through on that phone call. And it's something I've always preached to my team.
Yeah, that's awesome, because you can hear that smile when you're smiling when you talk. That is cool. But, even beyond that, it is important to have a human being you can get in touch with. I was placing a trade, not that long ago, and all of a sudden the website just quit working, and I was needing to get out of a trade. And so if I hadn't been able to talk to a person and say, man, I'm in this and such, I got 10 contracts of this particular option, get me out now, I would have been in trouble. And so it is hugely important. And that's one of the things that TRADEway loves about Tradier. And by the way, I like your name too. I like the name of the company. It's pretty cool. Well, a lot of you guys out there listening know that TRADEway just came out with a powerful new charting platform called Charts by TRADEway. And Rance Maycheck helped put that together with us. And one of the cool things about it is that through this Charts by TRADEway system, which is a charting software system, you can click a button and place trades through Tradier, the brokerage company that you work with. And it's really pretty amazing. It's seamless. Now, let me ask you this. how did you get to know Rance? And tell me a little bit about how that deal came about where you guys worked together and then he hooked us up with you. And so now you might want to go on and expand that out and talk about how simple it is for a person to actually place a trade through your brokerage company through TRADEway's charting software.
Certainly. We have an amazing team here at Tradier that is very well connected within the industry. And we've gotten to know a lot of folks in our journey. And they do a great job of getting us connected with the people that we feel are doing the best for their customers. And so that's a little bit of how that relationship happened. And I think the mutual draw was a powerful platform that is easy to use, while our integration makes it so straightforward and easy for customers to use. A lot of times there might be a lot of hoops to jump through, or, people might be used to kind of an old setup where I've got my charting here and I've got to switch over to a website or a separate application to place my trades. And with the technology we've built to tie those right in together, you don't need to go anywhere else. You're looking at a chart, all signs point to go. You've already authenticated it. It's already hooked up to your account. And you just click that button and shape up your order and you're all set. So it's very, very easy to use.
Yeah, well, it's exciting for us that you guys built the tech to make this happen, and Rance came in and kind of hooked the two of us together. And now you can be out there looking at the stocks. TRADEway can provide a basket of the best growth stocks in the world for you to choose from, so you don't have to do the fundamentals. And we send you a market alert out there so that you don't have to deal with the market tone. All you need to do is be good at charting, and we're going to teach you how to do that. So you're using the Charts by TRADEway charting system, and all of a sudden you narrow it down to 2 best stocks out of 100, and you say, these are the pretty ones, these are the ones I want to do. Now, you don't have to go out and close that application and go into a brokerage company's application and take 5 minutes to hook that up and then place a trade. You can actually do it right there through Charts by TRADEway software, where you're charting and click a few buttons and place the trade. And it goes out to Tradier, the brokerage company, and they place the trade for us and for you. Isn't that awesome? You couldn't do that probably 5 years ago.
No, it's come a long way, and it's a very exciting time to be involved in this. And I'll even say I think that there's even more to come. I think the mobile experience will get better and better. And I think that this is all going to continue to evolve, and we want to be on the forefront of getting there.
Yeah, well, I think we are. I'm really glad that, I believe nothing happens by accident. God orchestrates everything. So I'm glad that he brought us together so we get to know each other and work together and make a whole lot better environment for all of our clients and make life better. It's like God puts all that on the shelf for his children. It's out there now. So we can thank him for that. Well, I noticed this about Tradier is that you've got, it's not brand new probably, but a fairly new digital onboarding process where customers from over 75 countries can come in and get involved with the active trading community that you guys have built. So you have a global reach, is that right?
That is correct. With a few exceptions, we can open accounts in most countries. I think 75 might even be on the low side of the different places where we can open accounts for folks. That has been an evolution. When we first started, we didn't open any international accounts. Then it became a manual process. And now we're happy to say that folks from those countries can apply right on our website and go through our easy application flow, just like a customer based in the United States.
Well, that is huge for us at TRADEway because we've had plans to go global for a long time, and we'd already be there if it weren't for COVID, most likely. So there's another area I bet we can partner on right there, and we can bring a whole new flock of educational clients in different countries, and they can use Tradier to trade. So what you're telling me is they'll be able to trade from another country on the U.S. stock market through Tradier.
That's exactly right.
That's awesome. So let me ask you this. Are you in Central America yet?
A good number of countries, yes. If anybody has a specific country that they would like to know whether we can open accounts there, they can absolutely just email us. And again, one of those great customer service reps will reply back and let you know if it's a country we can do business in. But I do believe that we have most countries in South America available at this time.
That's pretty amazing. And probably countries like South Korea. I'm just thinking of places where people are really entrepreneurial, because those are the places we would tend to go first. So that's pretty amazing. Do you have any feel for where some of the hottest markets for you guys, like which countries have more entrepreneurial people looking to trade? Do you have a feel for that yet?
We've had a good number of customers from some of the European countries where we have offered accounts. One that's interesting we see pop up a good bit is the Netherlands, which for those with a long stock market history, know that's kind of where the origins of our modern day stock market came from. But we do get a good number of customers in France. We certainly get a good number of customers from the big growth markets, China, India. But we do get a lot of people from a lot of different places. And that's another kind of enjoyable aspect of our jobs, because sometimes we get to interact with folks and get to know a little bit about them. And they're very excited to have the opportunity to open a U.S. market account.
That's pretty cool. Well, I know for a fact there are not a lot of educational companies out there helping people learn to trade. And so we think we've got some real potential there to go into some of these areas. So we'll be talking about that with you guys. Well, let me ask you this, and I don't want you to, I know you can't divulge trade secrets from your company, but how do you get to the place where just any brokerage house, for example, can do this for such low commissions, or in some cases no commissions, and still make money?
As the industry has moved towards these low to zero commission type rates, it has become a different environment. But brokerages still operate in a similar way to banks nowadays. They always made some revenue from that type of structure. And the structure I'm referring to is just the fact that customers have cash balances. Some customers choose to borrow funds, and there's a difference in those amounts. Mm-hmm. For the most part, a lot of brokerages, once you reach a reasonable size, can make a good percentage of your revenue from that type of spread.
Yeah. So it's like managing money that's not currently in a trade. That's just one of the things. And you can make a spread on that, or when it goes in and out of money markets, things like that.
Yeah. It's about that cash management. And, that's where the opportunity to provide services at a low cost, but also make a profit comes in.
Yeah. Well, that's more than fair, because I would 10 times rather have excess money laying around in a brokerage company than in a bank. All right. So there's a clue, guys. If you're new out there listening, take that as a good clue. And so listen, I tell you, I'm just fascinated by what you guys have done. And of course, our company's looked into your company quite a bit and before we even struck a partnership. And the tech behind your company is quite amazing. You're right on the cutting edge of that. And I can tell you, because we deal with some of the older brokerage companies too. Some of them, we can't even get involved with Charts by TRADEway, because you can't make it work with their dinosaur system. And you guys are like on the very cutting edge of all that, and it's like seamless and breezy. So that's pretty cool. We highly recommend Tradier. Well, Chris, thank you so much. I know you were busy. I mean, you're on the floor right now watching your guys work and help people, and even helping some TRADEway people right now probably. And I can't tell you how much I appreciate you giving us a little bit of your time. And it's good to meet you too. I'm sure we'll get together again in the future. So thanks for being with us. Appreciate it.
Absolutely, David. I appreciate the time today. And we look forward to working with more of your folks. And, if anybody has any questions, service@tradierbrokerage.com. We'll be happy to help. And the phone number's right on the website as well.
Super. Very, very good. Well, guys, we appreciate you all listening in, giving us some of your time today as well. And I hope you got some exciting facts today. I think the takeaway is this: now we're at a point where you can go in to the Charts by TRADEway charting system. It'll even look at fundamentals of the companies. It will look at news events in the companies. Look at anything, however deeply you want to drill, you can drill. And then just the good old charting part of the software is right there. And then when you pick the pretty one, you click a few buttons and you've placed your trade through Tradier. So that is so cool. And if you love the show, please rate and review it as always so that people with similar interests can find us. We can be a help to them as well. And so I hope you guys all have a great day. And Chris, you too. And we'll talk again soon.
Thanks, David. Have a great one.
Thank you.